Okay, I'm calling this 10 miles north of Faud. Say, where Leo came in, from England, they came around down here and then they went through the Gibraltar right here, this pass, and they landed in Oran. It's not Iran, it's Oran, which means actually two lions. And the first part of their stay, they actually tried to move up this way to take Tunis, but they didn't make it. So they rerouted and they got stuck in the winter in this area. I think it's right in this area, something like that. And they eventually moved into this direction. See, this little red dot right here, that is where faud is, where Leo passed away, was blown up. So I'm going to blow this area up. Okay, we're blowing it up. See, Sidi Bouzid, that's where they talked about quite a bit, that Leo was stationed for a while. And we're keep moving this way. And mind you that the Germans are being pushed up this way by the British. So they're trying to evacuate. They were trying to get up here to evacuate. And Leo's group here was trying to cut him off. And the Germans have had this whole area. It's like there's two sets of mountains, dorsal mountains. And the Germans just had this whole area wired to slow them down. And that's what they were doing. So they were slugging it out in this area, trying to get across. And the Germans were laying mines, doing booby traps, all this craziness to try to stop them. So I'm going to blow it up a little bit further, center a little bit. See that there's this whole kind of ridge here, all this wash, and see all this water up here? That would have been really important to get fresh water for the guys. So that may have been a strategic area, but it was just like a little bit south of this area right here where we're going to blow up. And I think that's where Leo was killed, right in here. So he's going up, moving this way, and he's going through the Red Bull Pass. The Red Bull Pass is right in this area, right in here. So we're going to pull in a little bit further. And we're going to go in a little bit further. And then I'm going to switch to my other map. Okay, here's a map I made of approximately where Leo J. Retton was killed by the landmine, according to Humphrey Ireland's notes, which he said this is Faud right here. It was 10 miles north of Faud in a small pass. Okay, so we're looking at this image here in this box, and it looks like there's a road right here coming through here, going into this way. And this is the Rubble Pass, which Leo and his buddies were chasing the Germans, and they're coming back through this. So I'm guessing it's right in this area right here where that small pass was. Now, just to illustrate my point, you kind of ask a crazy question, and it's interesting because sometimes they generate results. So I was going through this Google map, and then you could actually use satellite images. You could focus in, you could pan out, you could move around, and that's what I was doing of this area in the desert to find this area where Leo passed away. So let's say maybe 20 years in the future, what if I could fly a drone, remote control by where I'm sitting here in America, and go in closer? Or what even if I went to this site and I had scientists with me, and somehow, some way we could figure out where the mine actually went off. I mean, what if there's little fragments still existing in the area, like small bits of bone, metal, who knows what? That's figurative. It's pretty remote. There's a lot of possibilities. What if for example, do both Teller mines blow up at the same time? Or does one launch the other one? And, the other mine could literally still be out there in the brush somewhere, but never mind all that. We get these thoughts going. And it occurred to me, well, there's somebody who was there after the event, who experienced that event, who's probably pretty traumatized by it, but there's a chance that one of these soldiers wrote about it. It's in their notes somewhere. Somebody in his unit, they described the horrific scene, and there's actual written records out there in somebody's closet or archive, or there's something still existent out there that... Okay, so even stacked up upon all this, there was guys who made it through in his unit, even Humphrey Ireland. He has a whole journal out there about his events. Did he talk about this one episode? I don't know. There's all these, and it turns out that this whole story about Leo, it's all about all of these scraps. Isn't that interesting? The guy was blown up. His life turned to scraps. What if this one, like if you were going to make a movie about this and this one event, the whole movie starts with this event, right, where he gets blown up. And then you start piecing everything together by all this scrap information about the battles, people, all the events leading up to this point, and then afterwards. It was kind of a monumentous period in when he passed away, because the Germans were retreating up the coast. In addition, he had a full year in where he became a master of taking out mines, an expert. They were commending him for that. And the American army finally kind of got it together right about the time when he was blown up, A lot of these guys went through Italy, they went up into Germany, and then they've had lives after, and they all kind of scattered. There's quite a few guys that might have known about this, of Leo's passing, and actually talked to the guys who had to take care of his body. So I just wanted to make that point, how you could use maps to put together a story, and that's kind of it. That's kind of the observation I wanted to make for right now.